Hello readers, it's Sasha, and today I have my favorite video ever to film, and that is my Goodreads chooses my TBR for the month of October. October is going to be a very chill reading month for me because if you're in school in Canada, at least my school, maybe it's not Canada-wide, but at least for me, we have exams and like midterms and everything in October, so I didn't want to kind of set unrealistic expectations for myself because I realized like even this month, like just starting school, I have not read a lot of books, and that's fine. Like I didn't want to set myself up for complete failure. So I still want to play this game and I still want to play it like I normally would. However, I don't have any reading vlogs or anything coming up in October, so I don't really have anything extra to read. So what I read here is what I'm going to read plus the Whiners book club pick, which I will talk about a little bit at the end. So brief description on how Goodreads chooses my TBR works. Essentially, I put the number of books that I have in my want to read list on Goodreads, throw it in a random number generator, and the first 5 numbers that come up correspond with the books that I'm going to be reading in the month of, in this case, October. And a few months back, I decided to add a little bit of a wildcard number. So I put the numbers 0 through 9 in the same random number generator, and the number that comes up is my wildcard number. So if I land on any books that end in the number of my wildcard number, then I have to add an extra book to my TBR. And I also have to add an extra book if I land on a book that has not been published yet, which has only happened once. So fingers crossed. So if we just want to dive right in,
which we do because I have homework.
Let's do that right now. Like, it's gonna be so fun. Okay, so I have my trusty laptop and I just have to get a screen recording going because for some reason I'm like, let's do that while I'm filming because it makes sense, even though it does not. And we're recording. Fantastic. All right, I'm in the random number generator and I'm going to put 0 and I'm going to put 9, 2. So if I land on any number that ends in 2, I have to add an extra book. So that's that. Now let me see how many I have in my want to read list. 998. Why do I do this to myself? So we're gonna start with 5 and hopefully only have 5 so that I only have to read 6 books this month, but we'll see what happens because the universe doesn't seem to like working like that for me. So yeah, book 1. 65. Okay. That Night by Amy Giles. Amy Giles is one of my favorite authors. She wrote one of the contemporary books that I recommended in my last video where I recommend underhyped contemporary books. So I absolutely love her writing clearly, so I can't wait to read That Night. But let's talk about what it's about. So the year since a mass shooting shook their Queens neighborhood has played out differently for Jess and Lucas, both of whom were affected by that night in eerily similar and deeply personal ways. As Jess struggles to take care of her depressed mother, and Lucas takes up boxing under the ever-watchful eye of his overprotective parent, their paths converge. They slowly become friends and then something more, learning to heal and move forward together. But what does it mean to love after an unspeakable tragedy? Short and sweet, we love to see it. But yeah, I really think she has a way with writing, especially writing about grief and trauma. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she handles something as traumatic as a mass shooting, and I'm really interested to see how this goes. It has a pretty good rating. It's 4 stars, so that's going to be a lot of fun for me. Well, not fun, but I'm going to be glad to read something by Amy Giles again because her writing is fantastic. So that's good. Let's go to book number 2. 131. So we're gonna go over to page 2. Oh, what is my computer doing? Like, why are you struggling so hard? Far from the Tree by Robin Benway. Okay. This is another gonna hit me right in my feels book. I'm excited. Okay, this one's been on my radar for at least a year now. Being the middle child has its ups and downs, but for Grace, an only child who was adopted at birth, discovering that she's a middle child is a different ride altogether. After putting her own baby up for adoption, she goes looking for her biological family, including Maya, her loud-mouthed younger bio sister, who has a lot to say about their newfound family ties. Having grown up the snarky brunette in a house full of chipper redheads, she's quick to search for traces of herself among those not quite strangers. And when her adopted family's long-buried problems begin to explode to the surface, Maya can't help but wonder where exactly it is that she belongs. And Joaquin, their stoic older brother, who has no interest in bonding over their shared biological mother. After 17 years in the foster care system, he's learned that there are no heroes, and secrets and fears are best kept close to the vest, where they can't hurt anyone but him. I have not read a lot of adoption stories. I've read one that I found was good. Like, it was a great story, but I'm really looking forward to expanding that horizon and reading something that has been on my radar for so long now. I'm really excited about this. I think this is going to be really impactful and hard-hitting in different ways from that night, and I think that's what I'm most excited for. So that's exciting. I'm having a good time with this, so I don't want to jinx it because that would make me sad, but I'm having fun. So let's see what the next number is. 305. Booyah. So we're gonna go over to page 4, maybe. Ooh. My Whole Truth by Misha Thrace. I don't actually know what this is. This is going to be interesting. So, 17-year-old Celie Stanton never wanted to kill someone. She never wanted to be invisible in her own family, never wanted to crush on her best friend Alyssa, and she definitely never wanted to know how effectively a mallet could destroy someone's head.
Nice.
But the universe doesn't care what she wants. Shane Mayfield doesn't care what Celie wants either. When the former high school basketball star attacks her, she has no choice but to defend herself. She saved her own life, but she can't bring herself to talk about what happened that night. Not all of it. Not even when she's arrested for murder. Ooh! Okay, I remember why I added this one. That extra spice of arrestedness makes me really excited for this. So, that sounds so good. Okay. It's kind of fun with this game to have like books that I forgot about just come up on my TBR and be like super hyped for me. Like that was one when I added it. I was like, oh my god, like I can't wait to read that. And now it came up and it's just like, I don't remember what this was. And then it hit me and then I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so good. So I'm pretty stoked about that one. That's awesome. Okay, next is number 4, 925. So this is a newer addition to my list, which is always fun to see because sometimes I just kind of add books at random. And so I don't really remember anything that I've added recently. So this is going to be interesting. Ooh. So this one is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. And this is one that Amanda over on Ginger Snap Breeze read on her channel, I think. And she gave it like 2 stars, I think she did. And then I was like, oh, that actually kind of sounds like lit. So I put it on my list. And now I'm gonna read it. So, 1,000 Boy Kisses. So, one kiss lasts a moment, but 1,000 kisses can last a lifetime. One boy, one girl, a bond that is forged in an instant and cherished for a decade. A bond that neither time nor distance can break. A bond that will last forever. Or so they believe. When 17-year-old Rune Christensen returns from his native Norway to the sleepy town of Blossom Cove, Georgia, where he befriended Poppy Litchfield as a child, he has just one thing on his mind. Why did the girl who was one half of his soul, who promised to wait faithfully for his return, cut him off without a word of explanation? Rune's heart was broken 2 years ago when Poppy fell silent. When he discovers the truth, he finds that the greatest heartache is yet to come. Yeah, that sounds right up my alley. All of these books have like really good ratings, like 3.96 all the way to 4.2, I think it was, 2 something. So like all of these have really good ratings so far. So I'm kind of excited to read them, even though like Amanda and I have fairly similar reading tastes in terms of young adult, I feel like. And I'm interested to see if this is one of those cases where it does align, but we'll see. I'm actually really excited about it, so hopefully it doesn't align. And hopefully I love it. So yeah. Alright, and we have one final book, so this is gonna be great. Yes, so 687. Frickin' nailed it. I love when life turns out good for me. It's just so fun. Like, the amount of crap that I'm doing in school right now, like, I'm in pre-cal, I'm in stats, I'm in intro bio, I'm in a stats lab, I'm in an intro bio lab, which both have their own tests and quizzes and exams. I'm stressed. So, having so few books is super thrilling for me. So, let's go. Final book. Oh! Wait, is that actually... Yes, okay. The Silent Patient. Every single freaking person on this platform has read The Silent Patient, and I've literally just been over here being like, can't relate. Now I can. So, Alicia Brenson's life is seemingly perfect. A famous painter married to an in-demand fashion photographer, she lives in a grand house with big windows overlooking a park in one of London's most desirable areas. One evening, her husband Gabriel returns home late from a fashion shoot, and Alicia shoots him 5 times in the face and then never speaks another word. That took such a drastic turn. Oh my god. Like, paragraph 1, it was like, she shoots him 5 times in the face. Also, she lives a great life. Like, I was just not prepared. I thought it was going to come in the second. Alicia's refusal to talk or give any kind of explanation turns a domestic tragedy into something far grander, a mystery that captures the public imagination and casts Alicia into notoriety. The price of her art skyrockets, and she, the silent patient, is hidden away from the tabloids and spotlights at the Grove, a secure forensic unit in North London. Theo Faber is a criminal psychotherapist who has waited a long time for the opportunity to work with Alicia. His determination to get her to talk and unravel the mystery of why she shot her husband takes him down a twisting path into his own motivations, a search for the truth that threatens to consume him. So I'm going to stop the recording here. So like I said, I feel like I'm the only person who hasn't read The Silent Patient, and I've always wanted to be a part of this club, and now I'm going to be a part of this club. So I'm really looking forward to reading all 5 of those books. They all have amazing reviews. I feel like for a month where I'm going to be so busy with school and life being hectic and still working a full-time job, I feel like these books are going to help me get through it because they all have such great star ratings, and they're all standalones, so I don't have to worry about completing series, and I just feel like that's amazing. So good. Like, so freaking good. So the last book that I want to talk about is the Whiners book club pick, and this is the book that Manda chose for her channel for the month of October. Obviously, October is a bit of a spooky time, so we picked a bit of a spooky book. So it's Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper, or Lana Harper, however you want to say that. This is a very long synopsis. I'm very sorry. So Emmy Harlow is a witch, but not a very powerful one, in part because she hasn't been home to the magical town of Thistle Grove in years. Her self-imposed exile has a lot to do with a complicated family history and a desire to forge her own way in the world, and only the very tiniest bit to do with Gareth Blackmore, heir to the most powerful magical family in town, and casual breaker of hearts and destroyer of dreams. You know how men be. But when a spell casting tournament that her family serves as arbiters for approaches, it turns out the pull of tradition, or the truly impressive parental guilt trip that comes with it, is strong enough to bring Emmy back. She's determined to do her familial duty, spend some quality time with her best friend Lyndon Thorne, and get back to her real life in Chicago. On her first night home, Emmy runs into Talia Avramov. Ooh, okay, love that name. An all-around badass adept in the darker magical arts, who is fresh off a bad breakup with Gareth Blackmore. So he is just slaying all kinds of we know. Talia had let herself be charmed, only to discover that Gareth was also seeing Lyndon, unbeknownst to either of them, and now she and Lyndon want revenge. Only one question stands: is Emmy in? And I can personally speak for Emmy. I am in. I'm fully in. I'm fully in and surrounded by the concept of revenge. But most concerning of all, why can't she stop thinking about the terrifyingly competent, devastatingly gorgeous, wickedly charming Talia Avramov? Because she's perfect. That sounds incredible. I'm actually so freaking excited for this. Wow. Okay. So, this is gonna be so good. Oh my god, this is gonna be so good. I'm really looking forward to the month of October now for reading. So, if you've read any of these books, or if you'd like to kind of buddy read them or discuss them at the end of the month, then just let me know in the comments below your thoughts or what you want to do with that. And of course, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I will be posting once a week, and I have some pretty interesting videos coming in the month of October, so stay tuned for those. And until next time, bye readers!